What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one was played at the IEM Katowice and was the grand finals of that tournament. Spawning here in the cross position of the left mid area of the map on Automoton LE, playing with the red Protoss pieces. He is very well known as one of the best Protoss players on the planet. His name is Stats. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He is a very fun and well-known Zerg player, and one of those Zerg players that hasn't gotten to the grand final so many times and has not been able to finish it off. And we will see if he is able to do that here in this series. His name is soO. So soO versus Stats, guys. I am extremely excited about this game and this series in particular. As I said, it was the grand finals of the IEM in Katowice, the grand finals, and such a massive ordeal, guys, simply because IEM Katowice has been very well known as the second best tournament in StarCraft 2 to BlizzCon itself. And that has been kind of, a lot of people actually said this, as far as this tournament is concerned. Just Katowice, there's a vibe, I guess, that comes from it. Even though I've never attended the event, it is very, just very well known to people as like just the second best thing to BlizzCon. So really excited to get into this series with all of you here today, because these are two of the best players in the world of StarCraft 2, and very well-deserved players to win it all, so to speak, in IEM Katowice. That said, let's talk about what both our players are doing here on either side of their respective sides of the map. Hatch gas pool opener is going to be coming out of soO. It looks like that third hatchery has also gone down. Looks like a probe scout is coming in here for Stats. Stats looks like he is going to be going for a pretty standard opener as well. Gateway into the Nexus, and then of course the Cybernetics core. Getting that warp gate research is going to be coming in the most standard upgrade for a Protoss player. Looks like he has a Twilight Council. He's kind of hiding in the back here that is just getting started. Does look like on the opposite side, soO's going to go ahead and get those double queens out for, of course, that good stellar defense, but of course, for injecting the hatcheries. Does look like we are going to see the metabolic boost upgrade coming in for soO, which is, of course, the Zergling speed upgrade, the most standard upgrade for a Zerg player. So looks pretty standard on either side of the map. We're just going to have to kind of keep our eyes on this Twilight Council, which looks like it is probably going to be scouted here very shortly. But nonetheless, looks pretty standard on both sides so far. And as I said, guys, this ZvP matchup is a very fun one for me to cast and to play as well, simply because there's just so many mind games that go into this matchup. And it's just one where it really comes down to, the very good defense in this matchup generally translates to good offense as well. And that's something that's been kind of standard to this matchup, but it's also just the amount of mind games that come into this matchup is just absolutely incredible. Does look like a second gateway is being added on here, as well as the robotics facility for Stats, and Stats is also going to get this Dark Shrine, so very interesting unit composition he's going to be going for, as that Warp Prism is going to be coming out here shortly. Does look like we are going to see, of course, the Lair is going to be coming in now for soO. We're going to see those higher tier Lair-based units, followed by, of course, a Roach Warren. So it does look like we are starting to see what both these players, or the techs of choice that both these players are deciding to go with. More and more gateways are going to be coming on. It looks like Stats is kind of planning an assault here, or somewhat of a push. Timing attack, possibly. That is going to be moving across the map here. Observer's going to be coming out. Looks like Glauber Reconstitution is going to be researched immediately after that Roach Warren finishes up. Now, this Zergling, beautifully placed, is going to see that there is a War Prism coming out, and we are going to start seeing the Dark Templar are out, and they are going to go ahead and merge together to make a couple of Archons. We're going to start seeing those Archon drops coming in here. And it looks like, though, there's a good amount of units here. soO is ready for this, and it does look like he is going to be prepared. He's going to start trying to fire down that War Prism. Question is how many of these units are going to go down at the face of these Archons, as these Archons are actually kind of treading pretty far here. Looks like that easy pickup micro for stats. Getting a little bit of some value out of those Archons early on here in the matchup. Observers here across the map. It does look like this is being followed up on Stats' side of the map with a Forge and then, of course, Immortals. So very interesting. It does look like we already see that Lab Bot is going to be out just chilling, watching exactly the creep spread get turned back. But that said, we are going to have some roaches that are going to start moving a little bit off of creep, a little bit of maybe a miss micro here by soO. He's going to lose pretty much all of those roaches except for one. And now it looks as if these Archons are going to continue their push onto creep, as that pickup microbe is going to come into effect. Looks like those creep tumors are going to be kind of halted for the time being, but it looks like at the same time soO is planning a little bit of an assault of his own, possibly a timing attack that's going to be coming in here. Now it does look like these Archons are going to try to do a little bit more of some damage. They're going to go after that mineral line of soO. It does look like they might get a little bit of some value here, but at the same time it looks like these roaches are going to be moving on the opposite side of the map. This third Nexus might be under a little bit of some pressure here, as there we go with a couple of force fields. Nice force fields there by Stats, but it looks like it's only going to maybe delay the inevitable, as a lot of these units are going to be going after those probes, doing a little bit of some damage. But at the same time, it looks like these roaches are going to actually, as soO is not afraid, wants to go right after those Immortals. Beautiful pickup here, and there we go again with the with those force fields. Does not look like it's going to be able to do quite enough damage, but these roaches are going to be forced back home. And actually, when you look at these supply counts, it does look like soO is a little bit ahead of the supply count at this point, and it looks like he's just starting to re-rally some more of these units. And that metabolic boost, which was started earlier on, must have been canceled maybe on accident, and now it looks like soO is going to be finishing that up here in a few seconds, as the Mutalisks are going to be coming out. So the Mutalisk switch is coming in now, and Stats, I don't believe, has any idea that this is essentially an option, or not an option, but this essentially is going to be coming. So the Mutalisks are going to be coming here very shortly. 5 of them on the production tab. Does look like there are going to be some photon cannons. So it looks like the cannons actually, Stats must have scouted that there is a Spire that's out. So this is what I love about this. When it comes to the ZvP matchup, as I said, there's so many mind games that come into effect, but there's just so many different things happening all over the map, generally speaking. There's just so many different things happening. And the question is it looks like soO is ahead of the supply count, but Stats is definitely not out of this thing just yet. He's definitely still, he's getting those upgrades. It does look like those Mutalisks have made their way, but this photon cannon is in a beautiful position. Same in the main base location. It looks like these Mutalisks are going to be stopped even before they are even able to get started. But more and more bases are being started now for soO. So he's now going to be on his 4th hatchery. Once he gets that fully saturated, he is going to, he's going to be in a decent spot, but at the same time, his creep spread is kind of lacking, I feel, a little bit. Like, I feel like this creep spread should be a little bit further at pushing that 9-minute mark into the game. But we are seeing the Roaches and Ravagers are going to get started here. And there is, of course, the army is going to be moving onto the opposite side of the map. It does look like, here we go, we are going to have an engagement in the middle of this map as those vials are going to be coming down, but the beautiful force fields are going to be coming in, trying to split up this army. The question is Stats going to be able to kind of even up the score here as we go? It does look like soO is being forced into a very interesting situation where he's having to split up his army. It does look like Stats is getting the upper hand here in this current engagement, as those Immortals are just doing so much damage. Beautiful play here by Stats. He absolutely is getting I guess you could say he's really starting to move in a good direction as far as evening up the score here, or I should say the supply count, as soO is trying to, of course he's trying to, hold. He's going to have to hold here, of course, because this base is going to be relatively vulnerable, and there is a lot of Archons, Immortals, and some Sentries now that are going to make this unit composition very difficult one to really take on head-on. A lot of units here. More and more roaches are on that production tab, as well as more Immortals for stats. soO is trying to rally the troops, and with one good engagement, though, he could definitely take over this game. A lot of these units are, like, very heavy on the supply, but here we go. It does look like those Roaches and Ravagers are going to try as hard as they can with the little bit of micro. Nice play there. It does look like that actually went in favor of soO. But it's all going to come down to this jostling, this jawing back and forth, the tug of war that is the ZvP matchup. Here we go. It does look like those force fields are very good, but the bios are going down right on top of all those units. A lot of Immortals, so this is starting to get very scary. There are just so many Immortals that are here, and more Roaches are on that production tab. I just wonder, stats is slowly creeping onto the creep spread of soO, and I just wonder, is there going to be enough here for soO to hold on as more and more units are starting to be reinforced for stats? Here we go once again. soO does not want stats to get comfortable, but stats is in a position of power as he is ahead of the supply. Here we go. It does look like he is just pouncing on this entire army. Oh, the amount of supply that's dipping for soO. GG is called, and stats takes an early 1-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between stats and soO, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll see you guys all in game number 2.